Welcome. Hopefully a quick-ish video today. Thinking we're gonna go over some tips for working from home. Some things that I've gathered over the last 4 to 6 years that I've been working from home, depending on when you count starting work versus finishing college. All of these tips will be documented pretty well and more thoroughly in an article I wrote a couple months back. But I wanted to spend a video or two going over those in hopefully a better, more shareable way. And hopefully going over these, you guys can get something out of this too. Starting off, this is the big one, the most important thing. If I can convince you guys to do anything out of these listed tips, it's this first one, and that is wear pants. You need to wear pants when you're working. From home, you know, it's really easy to be lazy, throw on some sweats, if that, and then just work the whole day from a nice comfy couch and not really have to worry too much about who sees you, because you're not actually going into the office. And then there's, the classic joke of like being in your underpants but dressed from the waist up because the webcam only sees us from here. And I can promise you, it's a little dark in here because I'm recording at night while children are sleeping, but I am wearing my normal black skinny jeans because when I'm working, I wear pants. This is more than just looking professional. This is like a great way to like set your mind. You can't really be productive while you're wearing the same thing you wear to go to the bathroom, which is being pantsless, or the same thing you wear to watch Netflix. You need to like dress for work so you can get yourself into that mindset and be ready to actually be productive throughout the day, even though you're from home and you're not working from an office. So wear pants every day you work, no matter what. Looking at you. All right, next we're going to talk a little bit about where you work from your home, and that is you really want to set up a spot that is your office. If you're temporarily this is a hard word, temporarily working from home because of the pandemic or something like that, try and set up like a temporary office where your laptop maybe stays set up the whole time. You have your side monitor if you have one. It's a place where the only thing that happens in that spot is work, and that is like your temporary office. If you have enough luxury that you always work from home, even then, like, see if you can set up an entire room dedicated to this is where you work from. This is your work spot. And going into the office is just going into that section of a room or into that like specific chair at your kitchen table is only for working, not for eating. Or like me, you actually have like a full office that you walk up to every day. This is where you work. I suggest working at least 50% of your time from this spot. Personally, before the pandemic, I worked about 75% of my time from this room. And of that 75%, probably about most of it I spent at my office desk. Sometimes I'll work from like the couch or the orange chair or something, especially if there's something to watch, like if there's like a Halo tournament or something, I might have it on Twitch up or something, or like a Google I/O, WWDC. I'll have those cast to my TV, and then I'll be sitting on the couch. Outside of that 75%, I like to go to, friends' places that also work from home, coffee shops, and get out of the house, kind of reset myself. But the important thing is that those are the exception, not the rule. Most of my work time happens in the same spot. And that's again to kind of get yourself into a mindset of like, this is where I work, everywhere else is where I'm at home. And the better you can create a separation there, the easier working from home is going to get. I promise. And that's most of my tips are around creating this separation of home and work from within your house. Next up, I'm going to do a brief overview over basically everything contained in a completely separate article, and that is your meeting setup, the way you interact with your coworkers. And that is, you should get, if you're going to be especially working from home for a while, like this pandemic is going on for quite a while, a lot of people are switching to like long-term working from home, you should have a separate webcam. I use a C920, a Logitech C920. I might have a link to it below. I'm not going to promise that because price gougers have risen the price dramatically. When I bought this webcam, it was $35, and last time I looked it was like 400. Like, don't pay that for this crappy webcam. You can probably do better. There's newer ones coming out every day, especially now as the market for people working from home is booming. Try and find a webcam that's at least 1080p, at least 30 frames per second, and you should be fine for most of your meetings. That will be the one that's built into your laptop. I went like this because a random piece of dust was in my face. Just ignore that. Okay, once you get your webcam, I do advise you put it slightly above eye level. In a future video, I'll say more why, but like, don't have it like so low that you look like like a dad taking a selfie or something, and so high that you look like you're taking a MySpace pic. If you're old enough to know what MySpace is, or young enough to know what MySpace is. It's a weird age to know what MySpace is. I said MySpace too much. Okay, but anyway, put the webcam around eye level, hopefully just a little bit above, and that can really help with when you're in meetings being able to like feel like you're actually showing and talking to people, and also help center you in the frame a little bit, making sure your webcam is showing off more than just what you're saying, but like they can actually see your body language and understand like what you're trying to convey better through that. Although mine shakes a lot because my floor isn't very sturdy. Sorry about that. I shouldn't do that when I'm recording for YouTube. Okay, and then once you get a webcam, the next thing I want to point out for your setup is a mic. If you're doing a lot of meetings, you should hopefully never use the one that's built into your laptop. You'll never hear me using it. I have this nice one here. This is overkill. This is because I'm a bit of like I like cool stuff and gear, so I got myself a nice audio setup, and this goes out to my Xbox, to my PC, and to my work laptop. It's just, I don't know, I felt like getting something nice. This is overkill, but you could get a nice USB mic. Blue Yeti comes to mind. There's a couple others. When I have the full video on that, I'll have links to different things, but for now, just think a mic that's not built into your laptop will sound so much better. Get it closer to your mouth, get it so it's not reverberating on the Mac itself, or when you type it's not picking that up so much. Get a separate mic. Lastly, for the meeting setup, this is probably most important for the people you're in a meeting with, and that is get yourself some headphones. These are the ones I wear. If you watch me on stream, this is what I'll be wearing when I'm streaming. They're pretty good. It doesn't have to be over the ear or anything like that. It can be like the free ones that used to come with iPhones. But basically just have a set of headphones so that for sure 100% you're not echoing, and for sure 100% you can better hear everyone than if it's just like going out into your room. You won't hear some of the softer talkers in your meeting as well. Headphones make a world of difference for meetings. You should always wear them at least during your meetings. Next up, while we're on the topic of communicating with your coworkers, I want to talk about chat a little bit and just being explicit about what you're doing as you're typing into chat, and just communicating as much as you can with your coworkers. So, I mean, I don't mean message every time you have to go to the bathroom, but send an emoji of a hamburger every time you want to go to lunch or something. That way they know for probably the next hour you're gone. Or like when you arrive to your laptop in the morning, say good morning every time. That way they know, oh hey, Dorelli's in. We can bug him about all the crap he broke yesterday. That's usually what my morning's filled with. And then the same thing can be said for when you leave. Message that you're hopping off, that way people know not to message you again. And then in between that, just be in chat with them, be communicating with them, even if you're just like messing around and talking about whatever video games you're playing or something. Just make sure there's a chat going pretty much at all times. This will help you keep from going crazy, working all alone in your office, and help replace kind of what used to be those standing over the cubicle and sipping coffee and annoying coworkers while they were trying to work. The nice part about chat is that it's super easy to silence and put away when you need to be heads down on something, so you never have to feel bad about messaging in about nothing, because anybody who needs to ignore it can very easily ignore it. So just chat. That's as easy as it is. To wrap up today's video, and I will have another one finishing up what was addressed in my article below, but this last part we just want to talk about relates to the working 75%ish from your home or from your office, and that is at some point get out of the house. You will go crazy. I'm sure some of you already are. If all you're doing is working in the same office, in the same chair, and in the same building that you live and eat and do everything else in. I just punched my mouse. The whole point of moving my mic over here was that I wouldn't punch the mic while I talk, and I'm punching other stuff. I'm a punchy guy. Anyway, getting out of the house. It's important to see other things. You'll be more productive during that 75% time that you spend at your home and at your desk if some of it is spent somewhere else. So if you have coworkers that are, COVID free, obviously, that live in the same town, see about meeting up somewhere safe, see about working from each other's houses if you're that close, and just attempt to get out of the house from time to time. That could also be just for lunch. If you live in an area where it's safe, go out, get some lunch, maybe get something like drive through and go to a park to eat, but just like get out of the house at some point, like probably a few times a month, and don't spend all of your time in the house and working in your office. You will go crazy, it'll get stuffy, and it's not going to work. So that's all I had for today. To sum it up, get an office, leave the office, set up a good setup for meetings, and for the love of all that is good, wear pants whenever you're working. Okay, now that that's all been said, if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. Comment below if you have some tips of your own for things you do to work from home. I'd love to read them because I'm trying to get better at this too. And lastly, if you want to chat about any of this, I do stream most weeknights, mainly Tuesday through Thursday right now on Twitch. Feel free to come and hang out, play some games, and ask me about, whatever we're currently chatting about in the videos. So that's it from me. I hope you guys have a good work week. I'll see you next week Tuesday. Bye.